Hey guys, welcome back to my weekly videos. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for being open-minded to the different discussions that I bring about here. So for this video for today, this is a topic that I remember writing in the notes in my phone about a year ago. And then 1 week ago today, Selena Gomez put out the song Lose You to Love Me, and I listened to it and watched the video. If you haven't watched it yet, definitely do that or do it after. And then it just kind of reconfirmed that I wanted to talk about this. So basically in this video today, I'm going to talk about being in a cycle of a toxic relationship that you're not able to get out of. I'm going to share with you guys a personal story about myself, but most importantly, I'm going to share with you guys how I was really able to get out of it and how genuinely I have no bad feelings towards anyone in the past anymore. Resentment, nothing. There's just been pure forgiveness, and I just want to share with you guys with how I was able to get there. So basically, before I dove into the whole self-development world and Christianity and all of the things that just really healed me, I struggled with a lot of things, which I've mentioned to you guys before, which is kind of why I'm here today and kind of why I'm doing what I do. Basically, something that I really struggled with was in romantic relationships. I would say that was the number one area of my life that was the most difficult, and that was because I would get into relationships and I would look to that person to be my answer, my everything. I would place my value in their hands. If this person doesn't love me, if this person doesn't approve of me, then what am I even worth? Basically, this is looking back in hindsight. I did not have a good self-image. I had a very poor self-image, very low self-esteem. Obviously, on some subconscious level, I didn't believe that I deserved to be happy or safe or respected in a relationship. And I unknowingly at the time, subconsciously, would just keep attracting relationships where they were very toxic. And also, I'm not a victim here because I was the one that was playing that game as well. And there was a lot of toxicity that was brought out between me and that person / people. But I just wanted to share with you guys, without making myself into a victim, but I just wanted to share with you guys how dark and painful those years of my life were. To me, that relationship was everything. If I didn't have that person, it felt like my life wasn't even worth living, which I want to pause and say that is the biggest lie ever, and I will continue and go back into that later. But genuinely, I was just into so much self-destruction and self-harm, and just I just wanted to be with that person and I couldn't get off this ride. There's this line in the song, Selena Gomez song, saying this dancing was killing me softly. And I was like, yeah, that's true. You're playing this game and slowly it's past depression. It's you were so depressed and so anxious, but now you just feel nothing. You're just so empty and just you literally place your value unknowingly into the hands of someone who was never responsible to carry it. But also the thing is that even if I was dating someone who treated me really well, I would have rejected that person because they wouldn't be giving me what I thought I deserved, firstly. Even if they were perfect and treating me well, I would still find ways to be you hate me, you treat me poorly, because that's all that I could attract, because that's what I was at the time. So during those years, I was fairly close with my parents at that time. I'm really close with them now, but at the time I think I was fairly close with them, and they would be seeing me kind of continuously go back and back and back and back and back to those relationships, and they chose not to tell me that I couldn't date that person / people anymore. Technically I was living under their roof, so they could have, but they didn't, because they were if this girl keeps going back to toxicity and pain and abuse, then there's something within her that she believes that she deserves that. So if we just cut her off of that relationship, it's not going to have healed. She needs to walk through what's happening. So they would basically just be there to support me and give me the tools that I needed. I was not going to let that relationship go, and they knew that. My mom would always be you need to guard your heart, and you need to set boundaries, and you need to stand up to the bully in this situation because it's emotional abuse. They would keep equipping me with things that I had to do, and they would obviously keep praying for me, and I know that now because it's completely transformed me. Prayer is very powerful. But the most important part was doing inner work, inner healing on yourself, you're no longer attracting those relationships anymore. So if you start either diving in through working with a coach or with a therapist or a counselor, whoever it is, and you're starting to uncover your limiting beliefs and unforgiveness, and you're really able to heal that area of your life, you will no longer be attracted to that situation. And it's not an overnight process. I say that because what my parents would always say to me is the person that you're in the relationship with, whatever type of relationship, when you grow, so when I start working on myself and I start working on my self-worth and self-esteem and like, why am I attracting this? That person that you were in the relationship with, they have two options, and it's not even a conscious option. They either have to grow or they have to go. So they have to elevate to your level by working on their own stuff of why they're also treating you poorly and why you're both just being so toxic in this relationship, or they have to go, and they will, and the relationship will just fall off. I also wanted to say, obviously this is my experience, because this is not a coaching session. I can't speak to everyone's individual situation. I have to give more general information because I don't know anyone can be watching this video, so I can't give specifics. But I think a lot of times we think that our lives, our destinies are attached to that person. And I heard a sermon one time years ago when I had just gone through a breakup, and the pastor said, your destiny was not tied to the person that walked away. And I heard that and I was like, shooketh. Anyways, so that's what I really wanted to emphasize. I know that it's very hard to believe that, but nobody has that power over you. If you're not with that person, it's not because you missed out and that was your destiny to be with them. Your life will, trust me, will go on, and I'm living proof of that, because for me at that time, I was so consumed. Like, I didn't have any goals past just like some basic work I was doing. I had no goals at all in life except that I just wanted to be with that person at the time. I hadn't traveled, I hadn't done anything, and to think that I didn't even think my life was worth living at points, to see where I am now, and to not only realize that there's so much life after a toxic relationship or after whatever it is that you're going through, but also what's really cool about it is there's so much healing and there's so much forgiveness, to the point that you really can get to a point where you don't even have resentment towards that person anymore, or unforgiveness, and you don't even regret what happened. I don't regret what I have been through, because it is the reason why I'm here now. It's the reason why I can relate to other people and have compassion and talk about it. And it molded me and it shaped me into the person that I am today. So with that being said, here's the other thing that I wanted to add on to it that comes with so I kind of just talked about how you strengthen yourself and like some behavioral modification when it comes to putting boundaries up, standing up for yourself, like protecting your heart, that type of thing. I can't go too much into actual practical steps with that, but just sharing with you guys, like strengthening yourself, most importantly, doing the inner healing so that you are no longer attracted to that anymore. But here's the other part that I wanted to talk about, which is more the forgiveness or like resentment that I don't agree with. Let's just say you first come out of the relationship, wherever you're at right now, and that is completely necessary to have the healing. It's okay to hate the person. Some of the lines in the song, Selena Gomez song, she's saying like, I needed to hate you to love me. I needed to lose you to find me, that type of thing. Totally necessary, totally valid. I am not discrediting any feelings that anyone has felt, because I have been there. There needs to be healing when it comes to that. And I think when it comes to this song specifically, because when I heard her talking in an interview, Selena Gomez, about the song, she said she wrote the song about a year ago, and she put this song out to, help other people, help them relate to what she had been through. And that was also something that was probably very therapeutic for her though. So for an example, with my clients, sometimes I'll have them write letters without sending them to the person that hurt them, writing that letter, but then I will ask them sometimes to read the letter to me, because that's something that my counselor did. And it is so powerful. Like when you write a letter like that to someone without sending it, when you write a letter like that to someone and explaining to them just the pain that they caused and all these things, how you felt, etc. And then you read it to someone. But again, it's a different, because that's my client reading it to me. I'm a safe place for them to read it to me. I'm not saying go write a letter and read it to people, because they might not respond in a way that's gonna help you. It might be more damaging. But if you read it in a safe place to someone like a coach or a therapist, etc., it wrecks you in a good way, and it wrecks you in such a good way. There's so much healing that is sped up when you're able to do that. My point is that there is healing that's needed to be done. That may have been really therapeutic for her, but I wanted to emphasize that now that chapter has been closed, as she says. So I don't want it to be like something that is being like ruminated on. So you listen to that type of song and you just like kind of go like deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into it. I'm like, yes, this is my life, da da da. Like there needs to be an exit at some point. Here's the last part that I wanted to say, is that what I don't agree with is when people will say things like, this person is the reason why I have low self-esteem. This person ruined my life. This person is the reason why my life is destroyed. All these things. Nobody has that kind of power over us. You don't even want to give someone that much power over you. It comes to a point, and this was the type of healing that was done through self-development and through my faith of God just showing me and just giving me compassion for other people, is that for me, I genuinely can say that I don't have any resentment or unforgiveness to anyone in the past. The reason why is because every single one of us is doing the best we can with what we know at the time. And every single one of us has limiting beliefs and unforgiveness and trauma, but they're just to different degrees. This person hurt people, right? So this person was hurting, this person hurt me, I was hurting, I hurt them back. Sometimes we focus so much on what other people have done to us, and I'm not discrediting what may have happened to you, but sometimes we focus so much on what other people have done to us, and we don't take into account that we have also really hurt other people too. I mean, I have really hurt other people unintentionally because I was hurting, and in the past, I have intentionally hurt people because I was hurting. And there's just so many variables. Like, it's like if a child grows up in an environment where their parents abused them, their parents only abuse them because their parents abused them. And then that person now becomes either an abuser or they become abused as they grow older. Generally. So how can I put so much importance on the fact that someone who did not know any better, and I know that we all need to be responsible, we're adults, we need to be responsible for the decisions that we made, but on an emotional level, it is very difficult. That person obviously, like those people, person, whatever, obviously chose to not do inner healing at that time because otherwise they wouldn't be acting out of those emotions. But I'm just saying that I can't be mad at someone I can't hate someone who was just hurting so much that they hurt me. And a lot of the times we don't even recognize that the person was hurting because it can just be pride. Like pride is masking it, but it's still pain either way. I'm not saying that happens overnight because it certainly doesn't. And you might be listening to this and thinking, I'm never going to forgive that person. That person ruined my life. But I really have to say that nobody has that power. Nobody has that power over us. Like for me, at the time, I didn't think I had an option, but I'm the one that kept going back into that like dance. And I'm the one that had self-esteem issues. It wasn't that person who gave me self-esteem issues. If I didn't have self-esteem issues in the first place, I wouldn't have ended up in that relationship. So I really just wanted to emphasize that sometimes we walk around in life and we're like, yeah, I'm fine, I'm pretty confident. We get into a relationship, all of a sudden, all these things come out. In a relationship, naturally, all of our insecurities are surfaced. And then we act like that person is responsible for it, but they weren't responsible for it. It was already there in the first place. It's like when we say that person makes me so angry. It's like when you're driving in traffic and someone doesn't put their signal on and you get so angry that you like tailgate them and then you swerve around them and then you slam your brakes on, for an example. That person does not have that much power that their signal made you that angry. You were already that angry. It's just that person made you aware of it. So anyways, you really get to the point where you don't have resentment towards the person and you are just like, you know what? I genuinely send you healing and love and prayer. And I just remembered actually a quote from the book Eat, Pray, Love. But a true soulmate is a mirror. The person who shows you everything that's holding you back. The person who brings you to your own attention so you can change your life. A true soulmate is probably the most important person you'll ever meet because they tear down your walls and smack you awake. So anyways, that's pretty much what I wanted to share in this video. I think you guys are awesome, whatever it is that you're experiencing. I have faith that anyone can get through it. And I am always praying for you guys. I'm always praying for my followers. So I love you guys. Thank you for watching this. And if you haven't heard the Selena Gomez song yet, definitely listen to it. It's like amazing. goosebumps, but also remember to not like stay in the cycle of it. Bye.